6522 on Facebook, Mark Patterson Show.
BBC Radio Foyle with Mark Patterson.
Now, one of the great sons of Derry was buried just late this morning. Noel McBride, comedian, football fan, snooker player, family man. Noel passed away on Friday after a short illness. And to say Facebook was buzzing with tributes all weekend is an understatement. There was a minute's applause at Brandywell on Friday night. Today, then, our own modest tribute to Noel with one man who knew him very well, Big Billy Carlin, whose banter on the bus journeys, I believe, with the Derry City Games are legendary among those who were privileged to be there to listen to them. Billy, good to see you.
Great to see you, Mark, yeah.
You were at the graveside just moments ago, Billy.
Yeah, just 45 minutes ago, we buried Noel. City's lost an absolute very, very good friend, particularly charities around the city, who he had no hesitation in helping in their fundraising. Anybody needed somebody to go on stage and do 20 minutes for them, he was always the first with his hand up. And he was just such a nice guy, not just on stage, but off stage as well.
Billy, we can talk bluntly, because I think Noel would have it that way. It wasn't always the same 20 minutes, but he had a rare gift of a comic in making the same jokes work for years and years.
Comedy's all about timing, and his timing was impeccable. And it wouldn't matter if he told you the same joke at the bar 10 minutes before he went on stage. You still laugh when he went on stage. He just had that gift of making people laugh. He was a funny guy.
How did you get to know him?
I came into the business about 33, 34 years ago, and he was the top man in town at the time. And we became very friendly because our paths crossed in certain areas. And we became very friendly, not just as showbiz partners, as you may think, but as really good friends as well. And down through the years, we've always helped each other out, not just with material, but with bookings as well. And it was in the early days when Derry City came into the League of Ireland. We were companions on the buses, as you just mentioned. We've had great overnight stays in places that were never the same after it, like, you know what I mean?
I was never on that bus, Billy, but was it a case that you sort of knew that it was going to be another day to face McBride, and McBride was up to face Carlin? I mean, how did that work?
Oh, well, you see the programme on BBC at the minute, The Voice? Yeah. Well, this was the comedians. I mean, it was just head to head, and this went on for hours sometimes. Unbelievable. Well, one great story I have is we went to down towards Cork, and we were staying in the Blarney Hotel, and the only room they had left when we checked on everybody off the bus was a double room for myself and McBride. So we had this double bed to share between the two of us.
And you're no 10-stone stripling, Billy.
No, I wouldn't be a weakling by any stretch of the imagination. But I remember Tony Kenny playing in the hotel that night, and we both knew Tony, and we had a good drink afterwards, after the show and what had you. And we're sitting in reception, of course. McBride, he fell asleep on me in front of the fire. I went on up to the room and got into my bed, and about an hour later I had to get up to go to the toilet or whatever, and he still wasn't there. So I rang down, and the night porter answered the phone, and I says, "There's a guy lying over there beside the fire with a Derry City shirt on, pair of glasses." "There certainly is, sir." I said, "You couldn't go over and give him a nudge and tell him to get up to his bed, would you?" He says, "Hold on, sir." And he didn't hang up the phone, and I heard the conversation going, "Mr. McBride, Mr. McBride, Mr. McBride." And all you heard was, what? Would you get up to your bed? Mr. Carlin's lying waiting on you. And I heard this running coming down the corridor, and you can guess I didn't sleep that night.
Billy, there are pages, and I mean pages of tributes have come in, and I know it's been really well received by Noel's sons in particular. Michael's coming in with those in a wee second. We'll come to those. But look, we've just found a little gem here. Sincere thanks to Ron Watson. Ron, just before we came on air today, reminded us of the infamous day in which Noel went on to talk back. This was live with Wendy Austin. This was the imaginary commentary that Noel had cooked up of a Gaelic game between the parishes of Effin and Buchan. Two real parishes, of course. Listen to this one, folks. You can hear Wendy trying to contain herself live on air.
Good evening. Welcome to today's semi-final between Effin and Buchan. The match is being played here in this big Effin stadium. At the moment, the Effin pipe band are on the field, and they're being booed off by all the Buchan supporters who have come here in a big Buchan double-decker bus. The manager of the Effin team is John J. O'Leary. He is a part-time Effin butcher. And in a few moments' time, the ball will be thrown in by the Effin Bishop, or the Bishop of Effin, who is sitting beside the Buchan Mayor's wife. All leave has been cancelled for all the Effin Garda. And now the match has started. John O'Driscoll, the bucking full forward. He's gone through the 70-yard, the 50, the 60. He's in the penalty area. In the first minute, he's been tripped by an effing defender. It is a bucking penalty. Who will take the bucking penalty? Liam O'Leary puts a ball down, but kicks it high over the effing bar. And now all the effing and booking players are fighting and arguing, and the referee has abandoned the match because the language is a disgrace to football.
Billy Carlin, follow that.
One of the main things is about that story is people often heard me do the exact same story. And it was something we shared, and people will still think that I was the originator of that story. Could he put that to bed? That was the legend. That was Noel McBride. That was his story. It's just unbelievable.
He was a journal man, of course, for many of the year, Billy. What was the thing about the P's in the I's? I seen it.
Oh, it was the P's and the F's.
P's and the F's.
Yeah.
Can we broadcast that at this time of day? What was it?
No problem, yeah. Basically what it was, he worked in the journal, and he told the story about the broken typewriter down at the journal. When you hit the letter P, an F came up on the page, and when you hit the letter F, a P came up on the page. And he told the story, and the story, broad lines would go about the young fellow going down to Borderland, to that wee village called Mup, to go to the dance. And this big tall fellow, I think he might have been a pinion, came over and asked him for 50F. I says, I haven't got 50F. And he punched me in the piss. And the story goes on like that.
On and on.
It just goes on and on.
But Billy, how I saw him, I've seen him doing that kind of stuff. He never missed a comma in the delivery.
Never. But, let's be honest. How many comedians do you know that get asked for a request going on stage? You have to do.
You have to do.
And that was part of his act. He it was probably the most requested thing was the F&Ps. Was the most requested thing he ever done. He just took a story and he took it to new heights. And as years went on, he just added wee bits to it and made it more as if it only happened last week rather than 30 years ago.
But I was just thinking about it, knowing you were coming in today. You talk about guys doing like hundreds of gigs. He probably down the years did thousands of gigs, and probably very often for the littlest widow's mite of a charity gig and the big profile gigs with Derry City and all the rest. He was a man.
It wouldn't matter what colour you were, what creed you were. If you wanted a bit of help, McBride was the man to phone. He would have went, he would have compared your show, he would have done everything. He had the worst teeth I ever seen on a comedian. He always had a toothache, which he needed a wee drop of scotch for. And that's all you had to pay him, was give me a wee drop of scotch, and he would have looked after your night for you. And the guy was just hilarious when he was on stage.
Michael O'Donnell joins you. Michael, you'd have been familiar down the years, the ranks of Derry City Football Club. I know, to say we're talking about a legend is a bit of an understatement, isn't it?
Oh, it is, right. I think everybody, I think, in the city have known Noel down the years, and his family and his sons as well too. And I've seen him on stage and I've seen him off stage, and he just seems to be the same person. It's just the lights and microphones don't mean anything to him. An audience of one, and he's off. And that's well reflected in Facebook today. That the social networks haven't stopped since the news broke on Friday that Noel had died. Robbie Dean summed the man up well. He said that I used to get the 7:15 train to Ballymoney every morning with Noel, as that was where we both worked. Honestly, God, he used to get the whole carriage in stitches, and that's no easy feat at that time of the morning. Robbie goes on, heaven's a funnier place to be in today. I'll tell you what, I'm just trying to imagine the conversation at the pearly gates. And Dave Black has a more personal message here. He said Noel was a true gentleman, one of the city's finest men. And anybody who did know him would know that Noel wasn't the man to be around if you couldn't take a bit of banter. And Terry McCaffrey pointed that out on Facebook. He says he met Noel when he did MC at song contests at Maville and Buncrana in the 1990s. He always put the contestants at ease with a few jokes. And Terry says even though he had plenty of material with himself when he found out that he was from Strabane.
Michael, hold those thoughts just for a wee moment, because we've also been able to dig out a wee bit of Noel doing his thing live. A wee bit of stand-up from Noel McBride.
We fella going fishing in Belfast, the month of February. Going fishing, walking over the ice, slipping and sliding. Left on his fishing rod, can of worms and the maggots. Flask of coffee, brought out a big pick, started digging at the ice. Choom, choom, choom. The big voice says, no, you cannot fish there. Says, is that you, God? Is that you, God? Says, no, there's a manager at Dundonald Ice Rink.
There's another great line here, Mark from Miles O'Hagan was on Facebook. You'll enjoy this. I'm laughing because I read it already. He says he bought Noel a whiskey one evening in the Everglades Hotel, and he asked the waitress. The waitress asked him, "Did he want ice?" He replied, yes, but I want fresh ice, not the frozen stuff they sell elsewhere. and finally, nice we want to finish off with here. He says, it's James Dunn, and he says he's shocked by Noel's death. He said, we had some crack with him going in cars and buses all over Ireland and abroad, and that'll be for the Derry City games, and Billy here, of course, was in the thick of all that.
Oh, don't talk. I remember one night we took over Cove. We were staying in the beautiful Commodore Hotel in Cove, and I think you might have been there, Michael.
I think I might have been there.
We went up to the social club, and the late Seamus McDivitt was there, the singer as well.
That's right.
And we just took over the stage. And we done a head-to-head. That particular night, myself and McBride, we brought the place down.
How did the head-to-head work? Was it?
He was standing with one microphone, I was stood with the other microphone. We just went bang, bang, bang. He told a joke. As soon as the punchline was hit and the laugh was done, I was straight in with the next one.
Is that not the scariest thing in the world?
It didn't feel scary. To us, it was the most natural thing in the world because we were used to bantering off one another and what have you. But that particular night, I think there was about 300 crammed into that wee social club. And Cove Ramblers was kept going all season for that particular night's tickets.
I think they'd be more of that than they did from selling Roy Keane.
I would say so. But nights like that, you'll always remember.
Billy, we're here and obviously we're preparing for the programme, so we weren't at the graveside today. I know we're very mindful of a family grieving a much-loved husband and father today, but just what was the scene of that graveside today?
Ardmore Cemetery, beautiful, serene place, sun shining. Just what you'd want your final day to be on this earth, and a lot of friends and a lot of familiar faces standing shoulder to shoulder, just in support of a lovely family and a true gentleman.
A huge turnout we're hearing as well.
Massive, it was massive. Yeah, one of the biggest funerals I've seen in a long time.
You won't be able to play it, says Dean, but the sketch with the P's and the F's is hilarious. We've been touching on that delicately today. Lovely memories for a family to hold on to, says Dean. Gina says Noel's mum, Kitty, and my mum Isabel Golden were first cousins, and there were two very funny ladies as well, and that's where Noel gets it from. It's funny because you got Conker and all and Tony, you get humorous families, Billy, do you?
Without a doubt. Comedy is the sort of thing you just don't pick up as you go along. There has to be a funny line in the family somewhere, and you'll always have a star turn, whether it be in the living room or whether it be professionally on stage. But most people start off with their star turns within the family. And it might have been the school joker, might have progressed from there, whatever, you know what I mean? And it's something you just mature into, and it's something that you just have to learn then what's right and what's wrong to do on stage.
Billy, a lovely tribute. Thank you for your time
Thank
today.
You, Mark. It's a pleasure.
Big Billy Carlin there, Noel's partner in crime on many's the occasion. We're just remembering Noel today, and I know we're tittering and laughing, but I'm sure Noel would be the very last one to mind today. The thought of us of leaving behind a bit of laughter. No better man than Noel McBride. 71266 on Facebook. Mark Patterson Show.
BBC Radio Foyle with Mark Patterson.